of spring training, let's get into there's been a lot of weird injuries. I spoke on Gavin Lux's freak injury, but also we have the WBC going, which has been pretty entertaining. But sadly, in the Puerto Rico versus the Dominican Republic game, Edwin Diaz comes in for Puerto Rico, closes out the game, and celebrating, and not even a crazy fashion, ends up tearing his patella tendon, and I believe he's going to be out for like 4 to 6 months. So I think it's kind of going to be the whole season, but we'll see.
Most of the season yet.
Right. And then yesterday, you had Brandon Nimmo in a spring training game make a basic slide into second base, and now it looks like he hurt his ankle pretty bad. I know that today they're doing MRIs, I believe, to see if anything's torn or whatever. But what do you think about now? A lot of fans are clamoring for that they need to cut spring training, like the things like the WBC shouldn't matter. What are your thoughts on potentially cutting spring training and making it shorter?
So I am for cutting spring training and make it shorter, but I'm not for cutting spring training to make it shorter for the reasons of the injury and all that. Um, I feel like this could have happened anywhere, anyways. During a spring training game, it could. How many times during spring training have players got injured outside of the baseball field?
Right.
So there's always those circumstances that could happen. Do I feel like if we cut them, we'll see less of it? Possibly. What the problem is when it stems down to it is I feel like spring training should always just be like a warm up. You shouldn't go out there and try to expect to make a roster if you're already on the roster. The spring training is more for your prospects, for your new members of the team just to get that gel, that mesh going.
Right.
Uh, so could you get rid of a week of spring training? I feel like if they rid of a week of games and maybe had instead of a week of games, have an extra week of training with the team at the beginning, that may help soften the blow. Uh, for the WBC, I think just like Mookie and Mike Trout both said, it's not the WBC's fault. I actually feel like the WBC is bringing more light to Major League Baseball. We're
Right.
getting more fans since just in United States, baseball is behind football and basketball.
Right.
So so and with the United States, the demographic of the population, it's everybody. So we are getting more fans in who are like, oh look, I'm rooting for my team. We saw that one rapper dude having beef with Puerto Rico. What's his name? 6ix9ine, throwing
Oh
his
yeah,
money. Yeah,
yeah.
doing his money thing, and it's bringing newsworthy to the MLB, and you're going to have fans who normally just sit all that on like the paparazzi site, like, oh, let me go check out one of these games if
Right.
these people are doing it. So I feel like no, you shouldn't stop any of the fun activities. I just think maybe the the management should have better control over their star players or the people they just spent almost $200 million on. They should be the ones who set the precedence for their players.
I agree to an extent. I feel like the only thing I would definitely cut spring training because I've heard too many position players and players say that it gets very boring towards the end, and they don't need that many reps to get ready, right? They need about, like, I would say, maybe 15 to 20 at bats, and then after that it's just like let's just start, right?
Yeah.
The biggest thing about spring training though is it's really for the pitchers. The pitchers have to ramp up. So what I would do honestly is I would have the first 2 weeks just have pitchers pitch sim games against their teammates, until they can ramp up those innings. And then when the first like week of actual spring training exhibition games start, instead of having your pitcher go 2 innings, 3 innings maybe, or having like, oh, he's gonna throw 50 pitches today, now you're getting your tune-ups in for the season. Okay, okay, Clayton Kershaw, go out there and give me five. Okay, Noah Syndergaard, go out there and give me six. Let's see. We're gonna give you 90 pitches today. Let's see what you can do. I don't think these pitchers need to face like actual teams to get them in. They just have to get into the routine of once again getting up and down, and starting an inning, having some trouble on the base pass, getting into that, This year is a little different because obviously with the new pitch clock rules and the shifting rules, like that is something that they need to get down. But I don't think it's going to take them a whole month to get that down. Like,
Yeah.
so I definitely would say cut spring training. I'm also in agreement with you on the WBC. WBC, this is the first year I've actually watched it all the way through. It's actually been entertaining.
Any pitcher, when you get to 30 pitches in an inning, can be troublesome. Drive to left and deep. Tucker back. Gone! 3-run shot. Mexico! Meneses again!
You know,
Yeah.
years past, it was like
You got Italy. Yay!
yeah. Years past, you would like wait until like the semifinals, because then you would see like the DR versus Puerto Rico. You'd see
Yeah.
like the big teams. That's what you would want to see, right? But all these games have been entertaining, and it's so many good stories. The kid, the 21-year-old from Nicaragua,
He's kind of stuck with, again, Hibbert is not a real hard thrower. He's kind of stuck with that cheat up in the box a little bit. He struck him out, though. What an inning for the 21-year-old. In a lot of ways, that's what the World Baseball Classic's all about. He struck.
who pitches out there. You know, he's on a team. He faces was it the Dominican Republic, I think? Faces the Dominican Republic, strikes out Juan Soto, strikes out Rafael Devers, strikes out Julio Rodriguez, ends the inning. Nicaragua loses, but before they go back to their hotel, a Tiger scout stops him and says, "Hey, would you like a contract to pitch for the Tigers?" Just changed this kid's whole life, and it's just from playing in this tournament. You know, so there's too many good stories to me that make it worth it for me.